Well, Dennis, what do you think?
I've been overwhelmed, but it's been quite an experience.
You know, that's my son. We used to market the company when we started it. My theory was a hot rod at a price you can afford. And he's a business guy. He's wanted since he was a little kid. He's just a business guy. Loves business, and he went to Ouachita Baptist and took Spirit Industries and made it a project. And they made a marketing campaign, and they changed my whole philosophy from about hot rod at a price you can afford to it's about the experience. And as we looked at that over the years, we really come to the conclusion that we don't build hot rods here, we build dreams. And I know your story is an excellent story. Now, we're building an awesome car, but your story is even bigger than the car.
Well, I hope it's not that big, but when you was talking about price, that was one reason I come by here, is that the price seemed to be reasonable. I mean, as far as something I could do on my own. I mean, you take a normal street rod day, and your 100 grand won't touch me.
It's crazy how much you can spend.
Yeah.
But
so but I mean, I just wanted something, and I've been tinkering with this stuff all my life, off and on, back and forth. And so this is going to be my last hoorah, so to speak. But
what's the story behind the dream? This is like a dream car, right?
Well, I had a handicapped boy, and me and my wife we motorcycled until he came along, and then when he came along, we kind of had to give that up. But he was handicapped, so we ended up doing a trike thing. So it was always about taking him around. But then as time went on, he got sicker, and I got older, and so then we decided that maybe I always wanted to build a hot rod, something. The 32 Ford Coupe was the main thing on my mind, and so me and him could ride around in some kind of leisure and comfort, whatever. But we lost him in 2006, and so I kind of kicked the dream off to the side. But then we went and still rode. But as years went on, my motorcycle days came less and less and less. And so I thought, well, I'm going to do this 32, this roadster type thing, and get myself in and out of the rain. And I retired and had not a whole lot of money, but I had some money. So fortunately, I had a nice wife, understanding, let me stick all my money into this thing. And that was one reason I came to Spirits, was that was the most reasonable price because I've been around, looked on the internet, and I didn't want to buy somebody else's pile of junk. And so I didn't have a $100,000 bill to put down, and if you go to anywhere else, $40,000 is a kit. That's going to cost you $40,000 for a kit.
Well, looking at what you've done with this car, you blew the budget anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, when you put the tune port injection, if there's digital that could be bought, I think you bought it. It's got digital shifter, digital this, digital that.
My nephew convinced me of that. He said, "Uncle Dan, you can have a hot rod and you can have fuel economy at the same time." So me and my wife's driving this, and like I said, I've done all the speed stuff, and a 65-year-old guy don't need to be going down the road speed shifting. So it's all about the cool factor. So
you got the cool factor.
And so I went with the Street Performance from down there at me in Arkansas. The chrome, and I think it's one of the better looking of the fuel injection units.
It is,
and it's still GM. And that's what hot rodding is taking, the stock stuff and making it better. And I wanted to keep the first generation GM block. I didn't want to do none of the LS motors, although it's fine motor and everything, but I just don't look hot roddy. So I wanted to stay. I had two decisions to make. I was either going to do a flathead and go out all on it, or I was going to do electronic fuel injection. So I could convinced myself, well, if I was going to run air conditioning, them old flatheads ain't the thing to do. So that's the reason I went with this here.
So we've got air, we've got power windows, we got tune port, you got it.
Yeah, but my main problem was my health. I just bit off more than I could chew. That's all.
Well, you didn't start with a beginner project here. We do a lot of T-buckets, and pretty simple. Yeah. You picked up, this is probably the most complicated, hands down, It is the most complicated wiring project I've ever taken on. And I've taken on some projects. I used to do it just for the challenge. Now, not anymore, but this was a challenge.
Well, when I came down here, and you guys, like I said, I come back down here for some issues to take care of. But and the wife convinced me that if I was going to live long enough to ride in this thing, that I might as well let you guys finish it. And so far, I'm really pleased by the way it's going. But
well, when you called me, I was just in my mind going, "Oh no, poor Dennis." You were pretty discouraged.
Oh, worse than that. You could ask. You need to talk to the wife. I was distraught, is the word I'd use. I sat in that chair for 4 hours before I even spoke about it, because I'd been wanting to do this on my own. This is, like I said, like I was telling you a while ago, I've spent 31 years in a government job. It's something I hated, positively hated. And they treated me like I didn't know anything. But my wife has said they feared me more than anything else. But I mean, it was not, and they, like I said, and I wanted to do this. It's going to be my last thing I've done on my own, my crowning jewel of the show that, I mean, I'm not the dang ignorant Ramus that they thought I was.
Well, you know, in doing this, what I really like about my job is I get to be part of your dream. And it really gets, if you're disappointed, I'm disappointed. Yeah. And there's a lot to do in a car. And part of my job is to convince you, yeah, and anybody else that thinks they can build a car that they can do it. But it's not my goal to have a bunch of parts in somebody's garage with a bunch of frustration. Yeah. What's the best way to accomplish getting a car?
You have, it's like anything else in life, you gotta have a real goal. And you gotta be realistic about it. And like I said, I had two plans. I was going to either go flathead or I was going to do this other. And my nephew called it the wow factor. So we went to the junkyard and looked at some Tuneport stuff and looked at the aftermarket thing. And this thing, you know, I mean, if you're going to stick this in a Camaro or a pickup truck or something, who cares what it looks like? You know, they're all just worried about rolling. But this is a rolling. To me, this is like a piece of artwork.
It is
running down the road. And so I spent, that was where I put my budget, was in the intake, chrome intake and everything, and that's what makes it. And so every car's got to have a wow factor, regardless what it is. And that was going to be my wow factor. So I blew my budget pretty much on the motor and the intake and everything. And then, like I said, I got issues, and then main thing is I'm just not the person I used to be. I used to could do 8 hours of work and then come home and do another 8 hours. But now I'm lucky to get 3 hours put in. And
well, when you talked to me on the phone, in my mind I'm thinking, oh no, this thing is a mess. And when you told me you were coming down, you were here in 2 weeks. You came 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
When you showed up with this car and it was wrapped, I've never seen one put together and yeah, I mean, this was wrapped and ready to go on the trailer, and we started taking it apart and it had bubble wrap on it, and as we were taking it apart, I'm looking at this car going, wow, 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 this is awesome. I mean, what you've accomplished so far, we didn't assemble it, we didn't paint it, we didn't put the motor together. So far, what we've done is we tightened up a lot of.
Made me feel a lot better, Bob. I really was, because like I said, I wanted to do this on my own, and then my wife convinced me that I wasn't going to get it done.
I tell you what, I own a hot rod shop, yeah, and I guarantee I didn't want to do this on my own. Yeah. I've got some talented people here, each with a lot of expertise. Yeah. So it took a team to put it together, and that's really what it takes to build any car. Yeah. If you get your wife involved, or you get some friends involved, and people that know what they're doing.
I had a bunch of people said they was going to come, but they didn't come. And of course, everybody, this fuel injection computer stuff is out of everybody. You know, we're us boomers. This ain't our stuff. Now, Elderbrock and Holly, I knew all that. But this was completely different. Even my car today, my car I drive, I take it to the shop. You got to have someplace and plug it in. And a guy with a $10,000 monitor system, find out what's wrong with it. So,
Well, that's where we're at on this one.
Yeah.
So it's been here 2 weeks
but,
now.
yeah, this is the future.
And your biggest concern, and just because they look good, it's not yard art.
No.
Does it run?
Yes.
And if it runs, how good does it run?
Right.
That hadn't worried you a bit, has it?
No, I was like telling Randy this morning. I wanted to be here. I told him I wanted to be here when they first fired it up, but I really didn't want to be here. But and then I know if I, as a technician, firing one up for because Randy didn't put this thing together. I brought this in here. He don't know. There may be 10 cans in them piston holes. He didn't know. So I knew he was going to be under stress. So this morning we come through the door. I smelt engine gases, and so Mary looked down and she said, "They've started." I said, "Yeah." So
well, we were going to do reality TV and make it look like, well, this is the first start ever. But last night, pretty late actually, we were down here, and Randy and Sean and Eddie and myself, and we actually started it. And it had issues. I mean, it like everything. There was one of the wires was off of one of the pins, and only half of it was firing. And it took.
I didn't need to be here.
No.
I didn't need to be here.
And then, I put gas in it. We ran it for a while, and then all of a sudden we're losing the fuel pressure.
Yeah.
And then it's getting worse. Yeah. And we're like, oh no. And I had to go in the office to do something else, and Randy come in, and well, we ran out of gas. Yeah. So we just put some new gas in here. You got $20 more to play with here of the ethyl. Isn't that what they used to call it? Ethyl, the high test stuff. Although we got no lead in there probably. Well, you want to turn the key? You want to see if it fires?
Yeah, we can. I'll let you turn the key on it.
No, you need to turn the key. Let's
right.
make sure we're in park, though. I don't want to run over the cameraman. Bob he's already got a bad hip over there.
All right, here we go.
Well, hey, Randy, come in here. Is this ready to go? Randy's.
Yeah, Randy. I tell you, get on the other side there, Randy, and then we'll do it together. How's that?
All right.
Here we go.
What do you think? We need a close-up. And don't get when you get the smile. And we still got a lot of the, like you said, that plug the computer in and we got to do the timing. It's got to break in. There's a lot of issues just because it's running. Now it's got to get smart, and it's got to get with everything else. But I'm excited. Like you said, it was a little nerve-wracking. Will it start or won't it?
Well, there you go, friends and family. It runs.
It runs. And what was your son's name again, so everybody knows?
Christopher was the guy who was supposed to be right over there. And when we get done, we're going to get a nameplate somewhere. We're going to get some kind of nice plate. And anyway, the name of this is Christopher's Ride. That's the name of the project.
I just admire you for anyone that raises a severely handicapped child and is dedicated to it.
All the credit goes to my wife. And come over here.
Yeah, come on. She's videoing too. Come on, join the.
Here. Mary's the one.
We're going to do the YouTube video.
This is
Mary.
This is the woman of the year, the month.
Hello.
Trust me, everybody. All I did is carry the load. She had everything else. I just helped her pack it, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't make it. And then she's the one that's graciously let me do this.
Well, we come down here to order it, and we left, and he said
that's
no.
another thing. I was on my way out. I wasn't even going to buy it. And she was in the office and already doing it, so it's her fault.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I stressed him out so bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming together. This is going to be a beautiful car, and it's going to be a beautiful car pretty soon, and you'll be driving it.
Well, you guys, when I brought it down here, I thought I was, how I felt like I was a failure, and that I couldn't get it done, and I wasn't smart enough to get it done, and then you guys said and looked at it and was started, your words of encouragement, it really, I went back home and I felt better. I still feel defeated, but I feel better that.
I'm going to get something. Now, if I was him, I wouldn't feel very frustrated because this is just some of the wiring schematics. and some of the different things that it took to build this car. So there's more to it than just a little bit.
I tried to save everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lifesaver to have that. Yeah.
So there's the story. The story is excellent. The story is more important than the car, but we're going to show more video of the car as it comes together, and YouTube and everywhere else, and Facebook.
Yeah,
We're excited.
Thank these guys personally for stepping in and helping me out with it. I mean, I really do, because it's been.
Yes, and he didn't need to be here when they had trouble in the beginning, because it would have been bad.
Dennis, we appreciate you. This is good. This is good.
Randy.